Hi, it's Aaron Witnish here. You're about to watch the recording of a live workshop called the Client Attraction System, where I demonstrate how to generate 24/7 leads into a high converting offer for your business, how to create 30 days content in 30 minutes a month and get that in front of your target clients so you can build trust, positioning so they buy faster and they also spend more money. And then finally, the community piece, building a platform where people can refer you more clients. You can keep your audience warm, but also create joint ventures that open up new client streams that don't require advertising. My recommendation is to watch the recording on 2 speed so you can get through it twice as fast. You'll still be able to follow along on that pace. Let's dive in. To get clients, to get them to spend more, and also keep them coming back and paying more, because there's all these different pillars when it comes to marketing. So the first one that we are going to look at today is the campaign pillar. And this is designed to get more clients. So for a lot of businesses, one of the challenges is they're really good at their craft, but all their business comes from word of mouth or referral. And that's great. But if we can't manufacture demand and we can't put something in and see what that's going to produce for our business, then we're at the mercy of those referrals and at that word of mouth. So today, we want to eliminate the need to have to do that in 2025 and have a predictable way that you can generate quality leads for your business. The second part that we'll go through is content. And the role of content is to really help build that trust and that expertise online. So it makes conversion conversations much easier, and people are a lot less price sensitive when they feel like they already know you and there's already pre-existing goodwill. So we're going to jump into how to create 30 days of content in 30 minutes and go through that system. And then the piece that's I'm adding in that we've done for many years, but a lot of businesses don't think to include this around their business is the community aspect. So how can we build a community around the business where we can warm future clients, we can create a place where they can refer people to us, but we can also joint venture and find opportunities inside our local area to partner with other businesses that can send clients our way. So we'll jump straight in, and I'll turn off this draw tool for a moment, and we're going to kick off with campaigns. So what's the most important thing when it comes to marketing is actually this part. It's who we market to, because we can have the best offer, but if we're showing that to people that don't have the means or capacity to pay the business, then we're going to get leads, but we're going to get very disappointed, and we're going to spend a lot of time in sales conversations that don't convert, which can be very, very frustrating, very time consuming. So I'm going to demonstrate how to get in front of the clients today that can pay you and have a level of desire to get a problem solved, and they just want to pay for the outcome. So this is really, really important. So it's basically who can pay you. And I'm going to go through 2 different scenarios. One that's probably going to apply to most businesses that are here online today, and a scenario with a super niche, the most niche client that I've ever worked with, where we had to go down a completely different path to get in front of the right client. So I'm going to show you both. So we're going to do a little play along here, and I'm going to open up my Facebook Ads Manager, and we're going to focus on the Meta platform today, because for most businesses, I'm imagining that they're going to be working with audiences that we can reach on Meta. And it's a really powerful platform with its ability to get in front of target customers with its intuitive AI and what it already knows about who you're trying to reach. So how did I get here? Just so you know what's going on. So if you Google Facebook ads account, you click on the link, it'll take you here. And I've clicked on this all tools section, and I've gone to audiences. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a bit better. So what we want to do is think about, okay, who has the means to pay my business? And they aren't going to be price sensitive. They're going to value quality, and they're going to make fast decisions. They're not going to muck around. So if we click this create audience button and click on the saved audience option, what I'm going to do is there's a link down here that says switch to original audience options. And those of you that aren't familiar with Facebook and you've never done anything like this before, don't worry too much about it. We are recording this session. I'm going to switch to that original audience option. Now, we might do a little play along here, and I'm going to call it high-end audience Melbourne. Oop, said ads join, welcome ads. And excuse my typos as well. There's going to be plenty of them as I work through. Now, for those of you that are in Melbourne or know Melbourne, just throw out a high-end suburb to me in the chat. So feel you know plenty of those. Melbourne's best surrounders. What have we got? Bentley, Bright, Toorak, beautiful, mate. So let's use Toorak as an example because that's one I think a lot of people would recognize even if you don't live in Melbourne. So what we want to do is come down to the location. So this is people living in the location or recently in the location. So if we put in Toorak and we choose Toorak, what we can then do is come to this pin and we can just drop it near Toorak. And then I'm going to remove the Toorak suburb. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 7 kilometer radius around Toorak. And if we zoom in on the map, you're going to see the types of suburbs that we're going to be targeting: Camberwell, Canterbury, Hawthorn, Toorak, Armidale, Prahran. And if you know Melbourne, you'll know people that can afford to live in these areas, they've got to have some income and they've got to have some money. So the next thing that you want to do, and you just do this with the high-end suburbs in your service areas that you can offer your services, your products to in your market. Then we want to get the age range dialed in. So in that audience, there's going to be some people living at home with their parents. So how do we try and get to the people that are actually the high income earners that live or rent properties in that area? So we probably want to change this age range to 30 and above. The next thing you want to do is specify, are your target clients men or women? Possibly not, possibly so. So you can specify that. And here's the exciting news. In 2025, you don't really need to give Facebook much more information than this, unless you're in a very specific niche. It'll work out with its capabilities how to get the offer that we create in the next step in front of the people that are likely to respond to that offer. So it's literally this simple to create an audience in most cases. So this is on, I'd say, 80% of the campaigns that we run for clients. We're just doing something like this in terms of the who. So you just want to go for the suburbs and areas that you know have high incomes. It costs a lot to live there. They value quality. They pay fast. They want problem solved. They pay to save time, and make sure you've got the right age range. Now, if you, for some reason you're in a super niche market, you can come down here. For example, if we wanted to just get in front of tradies specifically, we might come down here, and I'll just move back a step. And we might go into these categories where we look at industries and we might target, say, the construction and extraction industry, so we can get in front of people that work in that particular area as an example. But generally speaking, we don't need to go into here very often. We can leave it like this. So that's an example with Meta. Now I'm going to show you the really niche example with the most hardest to get to target client that I've worked with to date. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to go over to another browser that will let me. So this is Ozliners, and their target clients is precasters. So trying to reach them on Facebook is going to be a very small audience, quite hard to do. So if you're in that situation where you're in a super niche, say B2B space, or you really need to get some very high level executive or something like that, here's what we did with Ozliners. So this is called Sales Navigator. And if you have a LinkedIn account, you'll know that they try and sign you up to this every other day if you've been in there. So it's quite easy to jump on a free trial and do this. And what we needed to do was find all the precasters. So if we click on this lead filters option.
As I'm not seeing your screen, mate. Might be on the wrong window.
Let's see. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for joining, mate. Let's see if it will let me do the whole thing. I'm really good at Zoom, as you can tell. So desktop. Here we go. I think I got that. Share. All right. Might have to. You guys see it now? All right. Thanks for calling that out, Sim. I would have just gone through. You guys have been, what's he doing over there? So I'll take it back a step. So inside Sales Navigator, you've got two different options. You can find businesses or you can find people. And this is unreal for the ability to, and we'll go into this for the joint venture part a little bit later. So to find the precasters in Australia, we had to go down this route. So we clicked on the lead filters, we put precast into our search and pressed enter. And then we had to go down to geography and we had to put in Australia. I'll make sure I spell that correctly so we get the right outcome. And we've got an audience of 3,500 people that have precast on their profile somewhere in Australia. And what we're actually looking for is these type of people here that are production managers at precast yards. So that's how we found the who in the marketing for Ausliners. And I'll go into a little bit more about the campaign side of how we generate leads with this in the next step in this process. So that's just a really very narrow niche example where we have to do something completely different. And obviously, the example using Facebook Meta ads that applies to the majority of businesses. Now, I'm going to go back to my other screen. Simon, mate, you are on making sure you can see the screen responsibilities.
Yeah.
If I go over here, hang on. Yeah, it's not sharing this one now, so I will work this out. I think we're going to be good. All right, I'm becoming a pro. So I think we're good. We're back on the other screen. So that's the who. Who can pay you? How do we get to the right target client? Now, the next thing that we need to do is the offer. So again, if we don't have the right offer for our audience, we can have really drawn out lead, buying timelines, all those different parts that go into marketing. And I've made this mistake many times over 15 years of doing this. You get to the right audience, you have something where you generate lots of leads, but the speed at which they buy, because you got the wrong thing in the way, is really slow and really frustrating. So I'm going to throw out a few different offers depending on what type of business you have. So I'm going to put a few here and I'll talk you through each one. So we've got quote, event, case study, demo, trial, sample, and group. So, for example, if we're targeting Toorak homeowners in Melbourne and they want to paint their house, as an example, they probably just want to know how soon can you do it, what's it cost, and they're going to pull the trigger. So we don't need to muck around with any elaborate sequence. It's like, hey, we can paint your house in the next 30 days. Would you like a quote? We'll come out and visit your house type of thing. And I'm going to walk you through these offers. Now, in advisory, so say an agency owner like myself, if you're a consultant, an accountant, anything like that, I've found over 15 years that events are one of the best models to condense a buying timeline. Now, we could throw out an ebook, we can throw out a guide, we can throw out all those things, but is that going to accelerate someone to the point where they're like, hey, yes, I'm ready to make a decision? In my experience, no. But if you can get a bunch of people in a room that are your ideal clients, one, the fact that they've shown up, that shows desire. So that's a massive tick. Hey, we want help with the problem that you're helping people solve. And you can spend 30, 60, 90 minutes showing here's how we work, this is what we do. By the end of that session, they're either going to want to work with you and want the thing that you showed them or not. And you might be able to get, if you've got 10 people in front of you, you might get a couple of clients from that 1 hour time exchange. But if you try to do that one-on-one with 10 people, think of the time investment. So that's a really good offer or model for converting for advisory businesses. One that's a little more passive is case studies. So here's the problem. Here's what we did for this person. Here's the outcome now. Here's their testimonial. So, for example, some of you know Sean Sewell. This is the model he runs to get leads for the inner circle. He uses a case study place. The next one is a demo, trial, or sample. So some of you might have a offer where you can let people come in and give it a test drive and take it for a spin. And then if they like it, they keep going. So again, it's like giving them the thing. Here, take it for a spin. And if you like it, here's what it looks like after the trial. So you've got all these different pathways. And then a group is where you actually build a group around the business where people can come in, they can ask questions, you can show them things, and then you can drop offers in front of them. So just think about, based on what you offer, which one's going to accelerate the buying timeline? Because this is what we're looking for. We want stranger to, hey, I'm ready to make a decision. And this is how you're going to get leads that convert fast into the right offer. And if you get this part wrong, can make marketing very frustrating. All right. So before we jump into some questions in a moment, let's have a look at how to actually write and add offer online So you can actually get an offer in front of your target audience that we just showed you how to create and get some leads coming in. So I'm going to take you into an example. And the framework for this is exactly the same. So I'll write it out here on the board. So this is how we write high converting ads. Literally every ad that we're running right now follows this exact same framework. So first one's the image that we use. Then we've got call out, which is who. We're calling out the target client. We've got the hook. Then we've got edification. Then we've got what you get. And then you get how to get it. So if you follow this framework when you're writing ads in 2025, we used to have a completely different model with elaborate copy, but now with people's attention span, it's like, hey, bang, 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 here's what you get, here's how to get it. So let's unpack this. So this is a campaign that we just ran that books Simo out in a few days. So here's how it works, and I'll zoom in for you. So what is call out? Actually, we'll go to image first. So have a look at this image. These are examples of ads, images that we've used that have booked businesses out in less than a week. Notice the familiarity. They're all very similar in that it's not an overly polished in that it's like a highly edited photo. The person's making eye contact, and they've got like a nice friendly smile on their face, and they're standing with essentially what the offer or the service is. So you're scrolling through your newsfeed, this image plays a key role, as you can see here, in whether someone stops and actually sees your ad. So if we look over here on the right, this is what people are going to see. They're going to see this first part, this image, and this button down here. So we need to nail that part. The rest of it is like, this is 90% of the ad success, getting this part right. So now when we go to the copy, we've got our call out. So what's this? So it could be Darwin car owners. It could be Melbourne business owners. It could be whatever application, whoever you're calling out, Toorak homeowners. So you basically want to call out whoever your who is that you created in the previous step. It could be Australian precasters. So very, very simple. And then this part is the hook. So it's what is the problem or what is the outcome? And you just want to dive straight into that. So as you can see with O'Neill Emerson Flooring, thinking about updating your flooring. So for this workshop, for example, it's like, hey, want to get more leads for your business, as an example. If someone's an accountant, it could be, hey, business owners want help minimizing your tax in 2025. For ads who I know joined, who are going to be working with on this, got a nasty dent in your car. So it's just drawing attention to the problem or the outcome that you're going to deliver. The next step is the edification. So this is a little bit of building your credibility, and it's just like one or two sentences. So Simon O'Neill and Cam, Melbourne local, specializing in custom flooring solutions, including floating floors, timber flooring, and concrete preparation. So you just want to write your snapshot. So ads, for example, hey, I've been fixing dents for Darwin car owners for the past 10 years. Something as simple as that. For me, hey, I've been getting leads for clients with my agency for the last 15 years. So you just write your snapshot of that, and you're also putting a name with the business, which is a really, really important step because we want to humanize your business as much as possible. Then here's what you get. Very simple. So you usually go with three things. So with your offer. So in this case, hey, we'll drive over for a free measure and quote. Massive convenience, no risk really. Offer design and materials guidance to match your budget. So again, customizing to meet what they're trying to achieve with their flooring. And then here's a really good point to add equity to your home if we update the floors. So basically get your money back and upside if we go ahead with the project. So if you can come up with your own variation of that. So with this workshop, it was, hey, we're going to show you campaigns to get leads. We're going to show you how to create 30 days of content in 30 minutes to build trust on social media and community, how we're going to get more referrals, more joint ventures online. So what are the three benefits people walk away from your offer? And then the final piece is what do they need to do? So click the button, fill in the form, or is it go to the website? Is it send you a message? Is it call the business? You just tell them exactly what you want them to do. And that's how you write an ad in 2025. And then you got to test it. So you can think you have the best offer, you can think you have it all dialed in, but until you test it, you don't know. And I'm going to show you two quick examples before I take a few questions. So with Simos, you can see here, we set this ad live. I think it was on must have been March 19th. Within 5 days, he's got 8 quotes, and we needed to stop so he could actually go and get on top of all his quotes. So to get those quotes, it was a cost of $15.58 per lead. And the feedback Simo gave me, 5 of those quotes were fantastic. They're in areas like he's in Melbourne, so Malvern, Essendon, around those regions. And 3 of those quotes weren't very good. But to get that feedback in 5 days tells us that we're onto something with that campaign. Now I'm going to have to switch screens again, Simon. So you're my partner on this one. All right, let's share. Actually, I think I've worked out how to share the whole thing.
Good.
See my entire desktop now?
See your whole desktop now.
Ah, woo! Everyone give me a clap. I feel like a big boy now, so I'll know that for future. So that's awesome. So this is an ad campaign that I was running for my business. And the reason I want to show you this is because the actual ads are working really, really well. We got 73 leads, $6.54, but we had the wrong offer for conversion. So we were running this offer, same process, service businesses, free course, blah, 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 the same framework. But the problem was we were sending people to a free course. So as an agency, leaving people to their own devices, it was really having an issue with getting people to the next step if they were going to come and work with us. So hence we're back here at the workshop model. So that's an example of testing an offer and going, you know what? We tested it, but in terms of actually getting clients to the point where they're ready to make a decision, it wasn't the best solution. So you might find, even though you're getting tons of leads, that's where the conversion part falls down, which is really, really important. Very quickly, this one. So with this one, we had to go to a whole new strategy. So what we were doing is this. We were messaging the precasters directly. So this is an outreach campaign. So this company has precasting as a part of what they do in their constructions. And it was literally going in with, hey, do you actually need this? Hey, Nathaniel, thanks for connecting. How's everything going at Pellagra? A quick question. Do you ever require custom form liners on projects? So with this path, we're just trying to identify if this who has the problem. So if we're ever doing an outreach campaign, we're not going blah, we're going, hey, do you have this particular problem? And then if they go, hey, yeah, we do use custom form liners, then we'll go into some benefits and some things that we might be able to help them with through a collaboration. Now, this one, we have to track manually. So with Ozliners, these are all the leads, hopefully you can see on the spreadsheet that have come through. So we've contacted 328 of these precasters, and we get a pretty good connection rate. Anything above 20% is not too bad. And we've got 82 genuine leads that are like, hey, yeah, let's have a meeting, or I'm interested, let's have a chat. So right now, 1 in 4 people that we contact is getting a meeting. So we've got a ratio of results. So hey, we need a meeting, we need to contact roughly 4 people to get to the next one. So this is why you run campaigns, because you want to get a ratio of results and go, if I do X, I get X outcome. And this is how you can start to grow your business. So I will go back to my other screen, go back to the whiteboard, and that's the category of campaign covered. So are there any questions that anyone has that they would like to put into the chat around that before we move on to the next part of the model? Looks like we're all good. By the way, I'm just going to have a sip of this delicious coffee. Being in Melbourne, this is just a prerequisite. Awesome. And anything too, if you've got a very personalized question, feel free to do it offline after the event. Send me a message. A lot of you will be able to find me. Aaron Witnish is not a tricky one to hunt down on social media. There's not too many of me out there. All right. Now we're going to go into the fun stuff. Content creation. Woo! So what's, yeah, happy dance, Timo. So, all right. Who is looking at content creation and going like this? hands on head. I don't know what to post. I don't know what to say. Don't know how to create it. Where do I post it? What equipment do I need? I get it. It's probably one of the hardest things to do, especially if you're a business owner and you've got a million other things that are screaming for your attention. Extremely overwhelming. And then you create it, you post it, nothing happens, right? So you go through all that effort. So today, hopefully, we're going to fix a bit of that. So we got something that's called 30 days in 30 minutes. So this is actually a system. And what we do is we go through this framework, and it's called research, record, and repurpose. So research is getting content ideas. And in roughly 60 seconds from now, you're never going to have to worry about this again. You're going to be able to get content ideas anytime you want them and exactly what your target clients are searching online, which isn't that fantastic? Then this is the part that obviously people get a bit daunted by. We're going to record. However, when we go and show you how that works, hopefully I'll be able to put some of you at ease that might be a little bit intimidated about getting on video, but I'm going to explain why that's super important in 2025. And then here's the part that's easy. You're the business owner, you've recorded it, flick it off to someone, all the content gets created, right? So content ideas, let's go to Google. So what we do to get your content ideas is we come to Google, and what I'm going to do is I'll take Richard. He's just come on board with us in this week. He just started. So what I'm going to do, what might a target client type into Google? So we might type in air conditioning tips as an example. So all these different results come up, but there's this magical section right here. It's called People Also Ask. So if you want to know what are your target clients searching online, you just come here. And is it cheaper to leave aircon all day? What is the 3-minute rule for aircon? What are the most efficient ways to run air conditioning? What are tips for air conditioning? Now, if you want more questions, you click the down arrow. What are the do's and don'ts of AC? Click the down arrow. Is it unhealthy to sleep in AC? Now, this is just one search, right? We can go to energy saving tips. We can go to heating tips. We can go to cooling tips. We can fill our boots. And all you need to do is copy and paste these questions and park them in a spreadsheet. You can do this with anything that a target client might type into Google. You will never run out of content ideas again. And the best part is you're solving their biggest problems. You're answering their questions. So you end up becoming the destination expert that's reading their mind when you create content. So I don't think I need to go into too much more detail on that. You can all do that on your phones anytime you want. You're now content ideas magicians, right? So, all right. Now we've got to create the damn thing, right? That's all good. I got 300 content ideas. Now for the part that's in brackets, a little bit daunting and intimidating. So what we do is we set up a Q&A. So once a month, we're going to set up something where we've got actually backtrack one step. Backtrack one step. I've got to tell you something else. So this is the balance for content. So we have education, 60%. So what's education? That's all this stuff. So this is answering questions for your target market, solving their problems, adding value. So you're the destination expert whenever they want their problem solved in the marketplace, right? The next one is social proof. This is 20%. So what is social proof? This is what are you working on right now? Here's a project that we completed. Here's a client testimonial. Here's behind the scenes, meet the teams. It's just showing that your stuff works. So social proof, so education shows that you know your stuff. Social proof shows that your stuff works. And the final one is brand. So this is actually building connection with the audience. So another way to look at this is humanization. So this is kind of like your story of your business, where you are in the community. Hey, here's, if you're a local business, here's where my location is in the local area. This is how long we've been around. Hey, I have kids that go to the local school. So this is actually bringing you into the business. So all of a sudden, it's not just a logo and a business name. It's Simon, it's Annie, it's Tammy, it's Aaron, and people feel like they've got a connection with you and that you're in their community. So when you're in their community, what do? They tell other people about you once they trust you and they like you. And when they're ready to buy, guess who they come to first and foremost? It's you. Yay. So That's the balancing out the content. You can adjust it any which way you want, but we've found that in terms of actually getting clients and ticking all the boxes, this is actually what's going to help them get to the place where they have the confidence and the trust to actually make a fast buying decision and pay whatever price that you're asking from them. So back to the fun stuff. So this is Richard's first time up to the plate. So what happened in this session is I had questions that we got for Richard, and he jumps on his phone just like all our clients do, and you want to look at it like it's a FaceTime. So why this is really powerful is it's like you're having a conversation with a friend, not that you're recording videos. There's no scripts, no teleprompters. We just fire the questions and you just chat to us, answer away. And it doesn't matter if you mess up, lose track, because that's where editing does all the magic. So I'll show you an example. Morning check, beautiful. All right, introduction and background. Can you give a snapshot of the origins of Airworks Heating and Cooling to now, 18 years later?
Yeah, g'day everyone. So Airworks Heating and Cooling was first started in 2000. The benefits of this is you can store, I just sort of give you a bit of a 3-in-1 bathroom, heat lamps. It's important to have all your bleed ratchet in, which kinds of things. It's a really good idea that we come out, had it before, but now it hasn't been working there for a little while.
So as you can see, this is Richard's first ever go at this. So I'm just there, I'm right by his side, just sharing the questions with him. After about 5 minutes, he's running around his showroom, he's showing stuff, he's doing examples. Now, this took 29 minutes, 32 seconds. So this is how much time Richard's had to invest out of his busy work owner schedule to do this. What happened next was we gave it to Francois on our team. Francois then cut 19 videos that we've gone and edited from that 29-minute conversation. So for example.
So zoning and control system passed. If we actually also increase that blade to full the message, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Let's skip through that pretty quickly, but you can see we knew which questions we're targeting. So we just go cut the clips that correspond to the content that we want. So you may have access to an editor. So if you've got that ability, you can just do a Q&A with your team, someone in-house, anyone, and then just give it to the editor and they can cut the clips that you're looking for. Naturally, it's a service we provide and we do this for our clients. So if you don't have an editor, then we can obviously do this for you, but it's not hard to find one if you're looking for one these days. Now, there's another step in the process. This step.
So many people, they just put their unit to 35 degrees and not realizing that you can actually just set it a degree or two warmer than what the house is, and that will actually warm the place up beautifully and allow the compressor to cycle off, which is where you're going to get your maximum energy savings while still being comfortable.
As you can see, people will play the videos on social media usually with the sound off. So we need to have, we call this a little call out, and we've only
so many people, they just put
this little part here. If people are scrolling, actually gets their attention. And if they're interested, then they stop and they actually engage with the content. So this is what we call a call out. And then we have the captions for the engagement and interaction and for the people that are playing with sound off. So there's a lot of different tools that can use AI to put captions on, and they're very, very good. So an example is Opus Clip. So you don't actually need really fancy editing and all sorts of things. A lot of these tools will actually put this stuff on there for you. So now these clips are actually ready to go to social media once they're dressed up.
So we've got some different control. You can vary the one tablet style people want to do these days, individual temperature comfort level in that design room rather.
So I skip through a couple for you. So if we backtrack a little bit, you're the business owner, you show up for 30 minutes a month, answer some questions. You pass this over to an editor, your content's done, you can relax, go back to serving the clients, delivering the projects, having the sales conversations. And then on our team, we also have Shells, and what she does is she converts the transcription into the written post. So she'll take what was said in the video and just convert it into social media posts ready to go. So that's the model that we've used, and it took us a long, long time to work it out to simplify content creation for business owners. It was like pulling teeth for a long time because we'd be asking for things and we'd never get it. So it's now, hey, can you just show up for 30 minutes a month, chat away to us, and we'll do the rest. So this is the model that's fixed a lot of problems. And usually you'll find the second or third time you do this, you tap dance into the session because you get very confident about how it comes out on the other side. So once you've done it once or twice, it won't be so stressful. Okay. So next thing we got to do is now we've got the content. We post it online, no one likes it, 4 people see it, right? Yay, all that effort and then all that depression. So how do we fix that piece? Now, I've seen it happen many, many times where someone's had a piece of content and it's gone, blown up. It's gone viral. It's reached hundreds of thousands of people, in some cases, even over 1 million people. But guess what? 0 leads, 0 inquiries, 0 clients. Why? Because it's reached people on other sides of the world that have no utility for the product or service whatsoever. So whilst we might feel awesome because we got reach, we got likes, we got followers, hasn't grown our business at all. In fact, it's only confused our audience and our algorithm about who to share our content to. So we need to circulate it. We actually need to put it in front of those target clients that we created in step number 1. So I'm going to take you to an example of how we actually go ahead and do that. So what we want to do is if we're putting content onto a platform like Facebook and Instagram, we have the planner. And the cool thing about that is it actually tells us when our clients are most active online. So if I want to show it to my audience when they're most visible, it's 6 o'clock tonight. And on Instagram, it's at 8 o'clock tonight. So what we would do, and I'm going to use Rich's content as an example, even though it's to my account, is we want to just schedule the content. So we want to upload it. And there's a few really important things that we're going to do. So if I grab the video, not sure if exactly where I saved it. Is it on my desktop? Here we go. Grab it here.
So many people, they just put their unit.
And then this next part that I show you is very important, is what we write when we post a piece of content. So I'm going to copy this and explain what we're doing here. So when I paste in the captions, you'll notice, what am I doing? Adelaide homeowners, right? Who's our target client? Whose attention do we actually want? Who do we want to tell the algorithm to show the content to? I'd much rather get in front of 7 Adelaide homeowners than 10,000 people in India that are sitting in a basement that can't afford my products or services, right? We've got our little call out here over on the right, again, just to make sure we're getting the right eyeballs. Then we've got our, what is the content about? So in this case, Rich is talking about don't crank your thermostat up to 35 degrees to think that it's going to warm the house faster. He's saying just turn it up a couple of degrees. That was great advice to me because I was one of those idiots that was pumping my thermostat up thinking it was going to make my house warmer faster. So you have your little hook. What's the content about? What problem are you solving? What are you showing them? And then again, you've got a couple of points. Hey, this is what we're telling you to do here. And this is the CTA part down here. What do you want people to do? So do you want them to follow your account? Do you want them to comment below? Do you want them to reach out to you? So depending on what the content is, tell them what you want them to do. So if you're trying to build followers, say, hey, if you want more content like this, follow. Hey, if you enjoyed this, give us a like, let us know. Hey, if you've got a question about your heating or cooling system, put it in the comments below. Hey, if you want to get in touch about your heating and cooling system, reach out. Tell them one thing to do. This is how you actually get the outcome that you want from your social media content. Okay, so the next step is actually, we've got the content ready to go, but how do we now get it in front of the right clients? So we're going to schedule it to social media. So I think it said, might have been 6 o'clock tonight was a good time to do that. So if we go schedule, all right, we're just going to have to go to the scheduled step here. Unless I'm in the wrong account, might have clicked on the wrong button. Oh, here we go. So now we have our content. And then what we can do is get it in front of those target clients. So if we hit this boost button, what we can do is then tell Facebook, tell Meta, what do you want it to do? So we can tell it what is our goal. Do we want people to watch the video? Do we want them to call us? Do we want them to engage? So in this case, Richard is giving awesome advice about don't dial up the thermostat. So we can position him as a destination expert for heating and cooling around Adelaide. So we're going to say, hey, come watch the video, get more video views. So we tell Facebook exactly what we want it to do with this piece of content. The next thing we want to do is remove all these variations that it wants to give us. And because we just want people to watch the video, we're not going to have a button in this example. But if you wanted people to get in touch, then you would have a button. What do you want them to do? Send you a message or something like that. Call the business, right? And here is actually where you can pull up that audience that you created earlier on in the piece of your target clients. But we'll do a quick example again because Richard's audience are in Adelaide. So again, he probably wants to look at homeowners in Adelaide. So we make it 30 to 65. We put in Adelaide. Then we can fix this radius if we want to, again, do the pin drop strategy, or we want it to be within, say, a 20K radius of Adelaide so he doesn't have to travel too far. People are close to the business location. We just condense that in. We won't worry about detailed targeting. We can just go save audience. And that audience is now ready for us to use anytime. And we can show our content to the people in Adelaide that are actually likely to engage our services. So down here, we set a budget. So that's going to be situational, but this is over 7 days, spending $35. So $5 a day. If we did that, we get a little estimate. So we're reaching between 300 and 850 people every single day that meet our client avatar. And between 130 and say 350 people are going to watch the video. So all of a sudden, we're making sure that the right people are actually watching our content. It's not about how many people, it's about who. And we've solved the biggest problem when it comes to content creation, making sure that our audience is actually the audience that can buy from us. So that's the content creation system. And then we're going to see how we can put this on steroids in the next step. But does anyone have any questions around that particular process that they want to fire off into the chat before we keep moving on? I'll leave the chat open for a second in case someone's typing anything. But we are now moving on to the last step in the puzzle, which is community. So I'll zoom out here a bit, do a quick recap. So where's my fancy draw tool? So we've got our campaign, and that's just bringing in new leads. So this is constantly filling our business up with new demand for what we do. Now we're also creating a scenario where if they go check us out on social media or they Google our business, they're going to find content that actually solves their problems. So there's this trust, there's this goodwill. And when we do that, guess what happens? They buy, they spend the money. If we're doing this part over here, and you may have had this experience, I'm getting all these leads and then they're ghosting me. When I've put a contract in front of them, I put an offer, the chances are they're going and looking at your social media, they're looking at your Google, and they're not ticking enough trust boxes. So there's doubt, so they don't move forward with a buying decision. So this is actually helping get more people to buy and spend more money. This community piece is how we don't burn any leads and we create future clients, and we always have warm opportunities coming through. So this community piece, I'm going to show you an example of something that I've done over the years that have been really, really good for getting clients over a period of time. So what we do is we create a group. And I'm using Facebook as an example. If you're on a different platform, most platforms now allow you to build some sort of community or group, and you can just create one for free. So you just go create group, and you might call it, I know Ads is online, and we were talking about creating a group for his Dense Be Gone business. Darwin car owners, enthusiasts, and dealers, as an example. Who are your target clients? It could be taxation tips for Melbourne business owners. In my case, it could be lead generation strategies for Australian business service businesses, as an example. It could be Adelaide homeowners, It could be the group. And you build a community online around your business where people can invite other people to join the community, and you can feed all this content that you're creating. So you're always adding value, you're always front and center. And then when someone is actually in the point in their timeline when they need the solution, you're right there and they go, yeah, I'm actually ready for my heating and cooling system now. I wasn't ready for it 6 months ago. And guess what they do? They tag and refer other people because you've been adding all this value and saying, hey, Jimmy, I know you're looking for a heating and cooling solution. Come see this. And this just creates a platform for those referrals, joint ventures, and people for when they're ready to buy it. Now, I want to show you something that's pretty crazy. This is actually from 2015. And you'll see this group now has no members because this is something that we're not doing anymore. It's a redundant offer. The first time I saw how powerful this was we wanted to go to Bali, and we wanted to do these workshops for 3 days in Bali. And we thought, well, what if we just build a community with people that want to build a consulting business in Bali? And what we did in those 3 days was basically what we set up the marketing for them. So they come to Bali, we'd sit around pools and we're setting up advertising campaigns and setting up all their marketing, which is really cool. So we created a group called Build a Consulting Business in Bali. So you could do this very specifically around what you offer. And people that are interested just join the group and you can promote it, right? Crazy. So if we go down, just to prove that it wasn't, you can see 50, this is me back in 10 years ago. 51 comments. So you can see all the engagement, everything that was happening in these groups. Crazy engagement. But I was just doing exactly what we're talking about today. One, education. So here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. Then social proof. Hey, here's where we did it for someone else. And here's what happened. And then this is crazy. This is me showing Facebook ads in January 2016. So I've been doing this for a little while. So everything that you're seeing today, it's not obviously the first rodeo. And again, you can see all the engagement, interaction. Now, we actually filled out those 3 Bali workshops just using this group all the way back in 2015. And this is a strategy that I'm encouraging everyone that we work with to build around their business in 2025. So you can have this community of people that are going to send more business your way, and when they're ready, they're going to buy. So this is from 10 years ago. And you just feed all your content in there. You'll have people asking questions. So you can answer them, you can serve them, you can invite people. So if you come up here, anyone that's already a client, anyone that's already a client of yours, see if I can just minimize this screen a little bit. You can invite them. So you can invite all your friends on Facebook to join that would be a fit. You can make your team members admins so they can invite people in that would be a fit. And you can also drive people to this group. So you just build this community of people that want specific help with what you specialize in. So Simon, great example. You people that want to build brands, build a, I don't quite know how to frame it for you, but build a epic brand in 2025, whatever it is, for your business as an example. So that's the group strategy. And what we can also do is what's called retargeting. So over here, we're getting in front of all these people, we're creating all this content, but what we can do is go back to this warm audience and we can say, hey, when you're ready, you can get in touch. So retargeting audience, I'm going to show you how to create one of these. So we're building all these assets with our content. We're compounding, more and more local clients that are in our avatar, watching, engaging, and interacting. So what we can do is we can click on create audience. Instead of creating a saved audience, we go to what's called a custom audience. And you'll see all these different options. So if you've got website, anyone that's visited your website can go into this retargeting audience. Anyone that's in your database, you can put in this retargeting audience. Anyone that's watched a video, you can put in this retargeting audience. Anyone that follows you on Instagram, that has interacted with your content, has gone to your profile, you can put them in a retargeting audience. Anyone that's done this on Facebook, same deal. So for example, if I click on Facebook and I want to target anyone that has interacted with me in the last year, all I need to do is choose the option that I want. So it could be people that follow me, people that have interacted with me, and I just call it IG engagement. And I click create audience. And then what I can do is I can create all these different audiences over here that have interacted with my business and bring them all together. So when I create a saved audience, if you come down here, you'll see custom audiences. So any audience that you've built, you can actually add it into one audience. So I just go through for my customer list. I go through my Facebook followers, my IG interactions, anyone in my database, and add them all into one audience. So I can go Facebook engagement, Facebook followers, Facebook video views, and build this massive audience of people who know exactly who I am and I already have trust with them. And I can just create one epic saved audience. And that'll keep growing. So if people keep engaging, interacting, this makes the audience bigger, bigger, and bigger. So if we have a look at my retargeting audience here, so this is for my business. Anyone that's been to the website in the last 180 days, everyone in the database, anyone that's interacted or engaged or followed on social media across these countries here, aged 18 to 65, I can now come back and put something in front of them. It could be a completely different offer too, because they already know me. So it'd be like, hey, when you're ready, let's have a chat. Or it could be, hey, come jump in the group that I've just created. So we drive them somewhere where we can, again, accelerate their buying timeline when they're ready. So most businesses drop the ball when it comes to retargeting because this is the people that already know them, yet they're not doing any retargeting. So they're putting all this energy and effort into a cold market when there's a warm audience that's like, hey, I know and trust you, but I wasn't ready to buy back then. But a few months later, hey, now I need that solution. If your ad's not there in front of them, then you're missing out and leaving money on the table. So that's retargeting. And that's really simple, as you see, to just set it up in the same place that you created your who. Now, the last one I wanted to show you was JVs. So the next thing we can do is actually find other businesses in our community and we can partner with them and we can joint venture with them. So again, if we go to LinkedIn, and I'm in Sales Navigator because I want to show you something pretty cool. You can find businesses in your local area just on the normal search. But if we go to this account filters and we open it up, and let's say I want to find accounting firms in Melbourne that are a specific size, let's say they're between 2.5 million and 5 million in revenue, I can actually go to this annual revenue tab. I can choose my currency and I can go 2.5 to $5 million in revenue, add that to my search. Then I can go to industry and I can put in accounting. Then I can put in the location of the business, so Melbourne. And then instantly I've got 412 accounting firms or in that application that are between 2.5 and 5 million in revenue according to LinkedIn. And then what I can do is go to see who the employees are. So he's the principal. So this is someone that I might be looking to open a door with and coming up with some win-win value proposition. So depending on what your business is, it could be as simple as, hey, we are looking to partner with one other business in the area that to send our clients to that can take care of them with this service that we don't do. So you're saying, hey, we're going to send you business and refer clients your way. We're hoping that we can set up a scenario where you send your clients our way and we take care of them. And then that scarcity of being just one referral partner in the area means they're probably going to be pretty keen to have that conversation. So are there other businesses that have the same clients that aren't in direct competition that you could say, hey, we want to find a referral partner that has the same values, send our clients to them if they're open to also sending their clients back our way. So that could be an example. As an agency, what we could do is say, hey, to these accountants, we're happy to put on and fund a training on how to get more leads and use social media for your clients and position it and frame it up as a gift for your accounting firm clients. So it looks like you're investing into them, you're adding value and helping them grow their businesses. And we could put on a workshop, food, do this awesome training where we show them how to get their marketing dialed in. And the accountants could position that to all their clients and say, hey, we're putting this on for you. So you come up with an angle that creates a win-win and adds value for your partner. And then if they do that, what do they get? Their clients love them, they refer more people, they have better retention, they feel like they're on their page. So you go, what's a scenario that I can put together that would create a win-win joint venture where I can open up a new client stream for my business that doesn't require advertising, that doesn't require ad spend. And I just wanted to show you that because I think this is a pretty powerful way to get more clients. So in summary, that's kind of bringing it all together. So we run the campaign, so we're constantly building more demand for our business and we've got new clients coming in. We have our content, so we're helping convert more sales, build that positioning and that trust on social media, and we're putting it in front of the people that can actually buy our services. And then we're creating a little platform where people can sit in, get value, refer people while they're in between buying, or they don't need the solution just yet. Or you can even put your clients in there as well, because they'll be great testimonies, they'll be great engagers, and they can give other people confidence about buying your stuff. And then we retarget all this, so we're not leaving anything on the table. When people are ready, they can go bang. And we're creating JVs. So we've also got another client stream that we're opening up in the local community. So looks like I've managed to squeeze it in just under the 60 minutes. So that's the client attraction system. And that's how we bring it all together in 2020-25 for business owners. And obviously, this is something that we build and create for our clients so they can just focus on the clients, the projects, and stay in their lane of genius. Now, there's nothing to buy here today. What I've learned very quickly, being an agency owner, is the level of clients that come and work with us and ads. You can see online there, mate. Great example of this. You're at a level where it's like, hey, I know I want this thing, and then you just want to see what it costs basically, and then you make a decision. So it's like, yep, that's beautiful. That's less than I was thinking, or that's right on par. Yep, that makes sense. And then you just sign up and buy it if it's a fit, right? So all I'm going to do, if you're interested, is just send the offer to you so you can take a look at it and go, yeah, that's something that I want. The price that you got there makes sense. And then you just book in an application call and we can have a chat, because we want to obviously make sure we can deliver for your business. After 15 years, we've got pretty good at gauging who we can help, who we can't help. And if we can't help, we'll generally know some other person in the marketplace that's very credible, that usually can specialize in what you need. So either way, we'll be able to find a solution. So what I'll do is I'll flick it over to everyone so you can see exactly what we do when we build this client attraction system for your business. And if you want it and the investment makes sense, then you just book in that application call, we have a chat. So it's very simple.